All right, they're still coming. I see an interesting name. Oh, I love Essence. That's nice. Got a Zoom user, Katie. Thank you for joining us. Got an iPhone user. Thank you for joining us. Another 30 seconds, and we are going to get started. Like the kitchen. I think that's a kitchen. Well, these numbers are going up, and we like it like that. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Maestro, I'll have you go ahead and turn the tunes down. All righty. Happy Tuesday, everyone. My name is Michelle Fletcher, and I am the academic recruiter for the college. Listen, thank you all so much for joining us in this session. We do appreciate you taking your time out and sharing an hour of your evening with us. Now, before I get started, I need you to know that the session is being recorded. So I just want to kind of get that out there before we get going. Now, over this next hour, we want to talk with you about programs, options, and opportunities at CVCC. Listen, we just want to make sure that you are fully aware of everything that CVCC has to offer and that you know how to get started. Now, to help us get that information to you, I have a wonderful panel here this evening, and they are chomping at the bit to talk with you to provide you accurate and update information. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce them so that they can give you just a nice cougar wave. I don't know what that looks like, but anyway, a nice cougar wave. Oh, Dee just gave it to us. That looked like a parade wave, but anyway. Karen Alexander is an admissions rep. She's going to be talking with us. Ryan McNamara, this is the money man. He's going to tell us where to find the money. Brittany Cochran is going to talk to us about onboarding, just basically the steps that we take to help you transition into CVCC. She's also going to talk with you about all these wonderful programs we got going on. And then Deanne McDaniel, she was our maestro as well. She is with Student Life, and she's going to bring us home, telling you about all of the cool things we got going on and that we'll be doing throughout the fall with Student Life. Now, here's the big deal, guys. We have a special guest with us this evening, and his name is Mr. Lynn Dillard. Lynn is the coordinator for the Machine Tools program at CVCC. And he's going to be talking with us about these exciting programs. And listen, the many opportunities for employment once you receive one of these credentials. So we got a lot of good information coming your way this evening. Get your questions together. We would love to answer all of your questions. We want the session to be engaging, and we want it to be interactive. Now, listen, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Mute yourself and ask your question as we go. We will check the chat often, and we will do a Q&A at the end as well. Now, to help us with the engagement, we're going to launch several polls throughout the evening. These polls are anonymous, but we really appreciate your participation in them. The feedback from the polls allows us to know how to serve you better. And that's why we're always looking for your feedback. Now, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see several different buttons, but there is a reaction button there that I want to draw your attention to, and that allows you to engage with us. So feel free to use any of these features throughout the evening. Now, to get us started, I am going to go ahead and launch our first poll for the evening. And that poll is asking the question, what is your main reason for attending the information session tonight? So I'm going to go ahead and get that coming your way. And I also want to say that these polls are anonymous. So please, we don't even know who has given the feedback to which poll. We just want the feedback so we can make changes and tweak things along the way. So go ahead and respond to that for a few seconds, a minute or so, and then I will end the poll, give you the results, and then we'll keep it moving. Okay, I'm gonna give another 30 seconds. Okay, that feels like we're probably there. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and I'm going to share the results. So as you can see, it looked like we got something going on in every category, from applying to college financial aid, learning about programs, enrolling in classes, paying for classes, and there's some others there as well. And I would encourage those of you who indicated other, please feel free. If we're not covering something that you are looking to hear, listen, unmute yourself, put it in the chat, start talking with us about what that question might be. So I am going to stop sharing the results, and we are going to now prepare to hear from our first speaker, which is an admission representative, Ms. Karen Alexander. Karen?
Okay, thank you, Michelle, and good evening, everyone. We are very happy to have you join us this afternoon, and we are looking forward to sharing with you all the information about CVCC. Now, a few of you in the poll had indicated your interest in applying to the college. So for those of you who have already applied, then you know that you would get instantaneous acceptance to CVCC. The process is very easy. All you have to do is just go to our website, click on the Apply Now link. Our website is centralvirginia.edu. When you get there, you'll see Apply Now. Click that and just fill out, set up an account, go through the questions, answer everything. It should only take you about 7 minutes or so to complete the whole application. And as soon as you're finished, you will get a confirmation. You will get your student ID number, and it will give a confirmation of whether you are in-state or out-of-state tuition. Now that is important because that affects the amount of tuition that you pay to the college. If you are a lifelong or at least a full year resident, documented resident of Virginia, you should be able to qualify for in-state tuition. And that is the best available tuition rate that is reserved only for Virginia residents who have been here for the full year. And when you hear from Ryan McNamara in our financial aid office later, he'll explain to you how that affects how far your financial aid will go. So if you get a confirmation and you see something different than what you feel it should be, then no problem at all. Admissions and Records is here to help you. There's an appeals process if you need to look at that. If maybe you mark something incorrectly or not. But basically just fill out the application, mark everything accurately. It's a quick and easy process, and we can get you right in and help you with anything that you need. Now, once you submit your application, you're going to get a temporary password that you can use for your My CVCC account. So once you've applied, I encourage you to go ahead, set that up, go into My CVCC. This is where you will find all of your information for the college. You'll see your entire academic history here. You'll be able to enroll for classes through this link, and everything will be tracked right there. Now, when you hear from Brittany Cochran later about our onboarding process and enrollment, she can tell you about a new survey that we have that's used for placement into classes. And that will be through the link in the My CVCC. So make sure you go ahead and get an early start, get everything set up and get in there so we can all help you. We want to get you in as smoothly as possible and get everything ready for admissions, financial aid, and everything before you even start enrolling in your first classes. But we are open for registration right now. Summer is ongoing currently. We will have some 5-week 2 classes later in the summer, and we are currently registering for fall classes as well. So it's a great time to get in. We hope to answer all your questions here tonight. As far as the admission side, if you've already done your application, go ahead. Even though we're not using them as much, we do still look at your high school transcripts. Financial aid may need those, so go ahead and get your final official high school transcripts into us. And if you have any SAT scores, we can look at those as well. If you have taken any AP or CLEP tests, we can use those for credit for classes. So please submit all of your information to the Admissions and Records Office, and that will expedite the process, and we can help you through everything. So I will now turn the presentation over to Mr. Ryan McNamara. I believe he was testing his screen share there. He's eager and ready to go. So he's going to tell you all about how to afford financial aid and fill out your FAFSA so you can receive federal Pell and all of that information. So Ryan, I will turn it over to you now.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. Sorry, everybody. My finger hit the button too soon. So my name is Ryan. I am going to be speaking to you about financial aid and how to pay for college. And so like Karen had mentioned, I'm going to share a screen PowerPoint with you. So we're going to go through that briefly. So first, I want to say welcome and congratulations. Congratulations to those of you that just graduated from high school, and welcome. And congratulations also to those of you that have been out of high school for a while and maybe are ready to get back into the swing of things and want to check out CVCC and see if that's a place that you would feel comfortable. So a couple things. One, how to pay for college. So Karen just talked about the admission section, how to apply for admission. So we're going to focus the next couple minutes on how to apply for financial aid. So the one main thing that you want to do is submit the FAFSA. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. So the website is fafsa.gov, and we're going to touch on that in a little bit, but that's how you apply for financial aid. So it's pretty quick and simple. So how much does CVCC cost? As Karen had mentioned, there is an in-state tuition rate. So if you are a Virginia domiciled resident, your tuition is $161.25 per credit hour. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, if you are registered or enrolled for full-time, which is 12 credit hours, 12 times 161, it comes to $1,935. So your tuition and fees for one semester would be about $1,900. So that's the not great part. But now we're going to talk about the great part, which is there's assistance out there that can help you with that. So again, we're talking about the FAFSA. If you plan to enroll this upcoming fall in August, you're going to want to submit the 2021-22 FAFSA. And you do that by going to fafsa.gov. Do not go to fafsa.com or fafsa.org or fafsa.edu. All of those websites are going to charge you for the same thing that you can do for free. So make sure you go to the .gov website. A couple things to keep in mind. If you are under the age of 24, more than likely you will need parent information on your FAFSA. So keep that in mind. Even if you file your own taxes, even if you have your own job and your own income, the FAFSA is going to look for parent information if you're under the age of 24. Another thing to keep in mind when you submit the FAFSA is that once it's submitted, that does not mean that you are done with your financial aid preparation and getting everything ready. A lot of times when we receive your FAFSA, there's additional documentation that we need, maybe a copy of a tax form, or you need to fill out a household size form. So make sure that you look in your student center in SIS on our website to see if there's anything in your to-do list that still needs to be done, because we cannot process or award your financial aid until we received all the documents from you. So just keep that in mind. So what type aid may you be eligible for? So there's federal grants, the Pell Grant. If you're eligible for the maximum amount, it's about almost $6,500 a year that you're eligible for. Now, remember a little bit ago, I said if you're full-time, 12 credit hours, your charges are about $1,900. Well, then if you're receiving the Pell Grant, $6,500 is for the whole year, but half of that is about $3,700 or $3,200. You'd be eligible for enough to cover your charges. So it covers your tuition and fees plus extra that you get. And not only that, there's also state grants that are available to you as well. So there's definitely funding out there available for you. Now, last thing I want to mention on that, there is a CVCC Foundation scholarship. So maybe if you're not eligible for enough federal or state grants, there's a separate application that you can fill out for the CVCC Foundation to possibly help you with your tuition and fees. We offer a tuition payment plan. So if you do have an outstanding balance for the semester, instead of paying one lump sum for the full amount at once, you can spread it over multiple months. So take advantage of the monthly payment if you need help with that. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes your grant money is greater than or larger than your tuition. And so that extra money you can use for books and supplies in our bookstore. So that means a laptop or, who knows, whatever else, whatever electronic device you need. But if you have the extra financial aid, you can use it in the bookstore. So you don't have to pay for books out of pocket. You may not have to pay for a new laptop out of pocket. So there are benefits with that. Now we know that things have changed. So if you have not submitted your FAFSA yet, you will notice when you do submit it that it's asking for 2019 income information. Obviously, 2019 was many years ago and things have changed since then. So if your family has experienced maybe a loss in income, somebody's lost a job or reduced hours, or high medical expenses that you've incurred recently, reach out to our office because there's possibly adjustments that we can make to your FAFSA. Again, we want you to submit the FAFSA how it asks, but then we in the financial aid office possibly can make adjustments to that FAFSA to make it more to make it look more up to date, realistic. This is what your income looks like, not from back in 2019. So one last slide that I want to show with you is there is a new Virginia tuition-free program. It's called G3. And so this is new for our institution. So it's starting this fall. So there's some criteria to it. You have to be a Virginia resident, enrolled at least half time. You have to submit your FAFSA, and there's certain income thresholds and courses that are programs of study that you have to be in. But if you're interested in that, hopefully maybe Brittany will mention something about it when she gives her little speech here, but there's a lot of money out there for Virginia students to attend CVCC with little to no charge at all out of your pocket. So that's something that you may be interested in. Then I would encourage you to reach out to us. Here's our financial aid contact. You can just email financialaid@centralvirginia.edu and we'll be glad to help you. With that being said, is there any financial aid related questions? No? Okay.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask about the G3.
Yes.
I have applied for that. I had applied for the G3, but I never heard back from it. So is it like a waiting period for applications?
So that's a good question. So there's not an application for the G3. We will see if you're eligible for it based on the different criteria. So there's not a separate application for the G3.
Oh, my mistake. I didn't mean application. I mean, I sent an email. Like it was an email that went out on that went out to the Gmails, and then I had put in. I responded. It was like, yeah, I'm interested.
Okay, so one of the things that we're still waiting on from the state is to be able to set up our system so that we can start awarding for the G3. So if you're eligible for it, you have not been awarded yet, but you will be awarded. So if you would like to send me an email or send your navigator an email and just ask about it, and then we can kind of get together one-on-one to see where you're at.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so with all of that, I'm going to now pass it back to Michelle because we're going to do a poll.
Yes, we are indeed. We have another poll, and the poll is asking the question, do you have a computer or the laptop that you're going to need for your classes in the fall? I'm going to go ahead and launch that and ask you to respond to it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the polling. Well, no, look like we're still going. Couple more seconds. All right, look like we might be good. Going to share the results. It looks as though there are several of you who do have a computer or laptop, and then there are a few of you who do not. And then the second question is, do you have reliable internet service? And it looks like most of you do, but then there are a few of you who do not. Now, this is a very important question for us, and I'm not going to entertain it right now because it'll come back into focus in just a few minutes when Brittany is talking with you. But there is indeed a good reason for this question, because if you do not have these different tools, we want to help you out. So that said, we're going to stop sharing, and we're going to go now to our next speaker for the evening, Mr. Lynn Dillard. Lynn?
Thank you, Michelle.
Mhm.
Like she said, my name's Lynn Dillard, and I'm over the machine technology program. We've been here since 1970 doing this. We're one of the older ones. What we do is one of our programs is machine tool. And you ask, what is a machine tool? Well, it trains machinists for our area. They build the parts that may go in your cell phones to make the housing, the mold cavities, the parts that get you around in your car, all those individual little metal parts and plastic, we do that. So machinists' hands pretty much touch everything that we use today that's not human. So that gives you an idea. One of the other programs I got is called quality control down here. And that's inspecting, making sure that other people's doing the job right. And so that's a great program I have. Another program I have down here is called CNC programming. And if you love computers, then what your job would be is to stand in front of a machine or either a laptop and program for others to operate. And so a lot of people love that, and it's a great demand out here for this. And then I have the machine shop program. And that is if you just want to get into the machine shop and be an operator and run equipment, pay is great. And we have that, and that's about a year program. Then we have the machine fundamentals program, and that starts out, like I said, it's about a year where you just take 4 classes. With that said, who are we training you for? Well, most of my students go to the main company here in town. It's called BWXT, the nuclear company. They stay over here. We work with them very closely. But my students, the reason they like going over there is because they start them out about $80,000 a year. That's starting pay. And then they go to about $100,000 to $150,000 a year. I didn't make no mistake on that. That is for real. My students, when they graduate, they're usually making with $150,000 within a year and a half. So not bad money for a program that is a little less than a year and a half. So I also have other companies here in town that pay pretty about the same. I have FlowServe, a union company over here. They make the cooler units that cool the reactors when they go into the naval ships or the submarines. I have FlowServe over here. Like I said, I have Framatome. Framatome is another nuclear company we have right in our back door. Now understand, you would be a machinist or either quality control. You're not actually fooling with hot stuff. You're making parts for the industry. So don't worry about safety issues or anything like that, because that's all we do is making the parts to go there. And so it's a nice feeling to watch my students graduate and come back and tell me a year later, I just made $160,000 last year. I had a student to come to me, graduated a couple of years back, and he wanted to buy a house. He worked all the overtime he could. He made over $200,000 in 1 year. Now tell me any place in town, any other curriculum you can go and do that. It just don't happen. So the money's good down here. These stories are not only from me. This is from B&W also. There are people come over here and talk to you on a regular basis and help you get in there. I will share this with you. I had a student to run up to me last week, showing me his cell phone. I read the cell phone where BWXT was offering him a quality control position, starting him right at $30 an hour, starting pay. He was all excited. He'd been used to making $10 an hour. So needless to say, it rocks his world. And it does, it changes lives down here. So I'm here. I've been here even all of last year. We've been here, we've been running strong. I'm here right now during the summer, and I'm inviting y'all, if you want to come over and see the program or want to talk further about this with me, it's called the Framatome building. We're the 3rd building back. I usually get here from 10 and I stay real late. So come on over, meet me. I'll show you around, give you a little 5-cent tour, and be glad to let you see what we got going on in this community. And that's all I have. So Michelle, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Lynn. And, I just feel like we need to pause on those 80,000, maybe on that $130,000, $150,000 for less than 2 years of your life, your energy. You could make, Lynn said $80,000. And that is for a program that's 2 years or less. And I would say to you that the panel that's speaking with you, most of us, and I can only speak for me, got probably as much as 6 years of school under our belt, and we don't make that kind of money. So it is what an opportunity. And I would encourage you to definitely look into that. Now, that's a good segue into the next poll question, because the next poll question I'm going to launch is asking, what program are you interested in at CVCC? And I wouldn't be surprised if 100% of you right now are not interested in machine tool. So go ahead and talk with us, and then we'll share the results. Okay, I'm going to give about 30 more seconds. We're still working on it. Beautiful.
Oh, Miss Fletcher, I was saying I want to do that. I want to do that.
Okay, sit tight, Nicholas, and we'll come to you with a question in just a minute.
Okay.
All right, baby. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, share the results. It looks like, again, across the board, liberal arts, our transfer programs, some engineering, look like some of my technical work, emergency medical. Okay, so we are going to get to all of that here in just a few minutes. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to let Nicholas ask whatever question he was going to ask. Nicholas, go.
Oh, I was saying I wanted to do the program he was talking about.
The machine tool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
gonna do
well, okay, well then I would encourage you to get with one of our counselors, Nicholas, and they'll get you hooked up with Lynn, or Lynn will put his information in the chat as well. And listen, Lynn is a great guy. I promise you, he is willing and ready to talk to you at any time in terms of his program. All right, so now that brings us to our next presenter.
Yeah, I have a question. I guess I don't want to say.
Oh, there's my other friend out there, Christian. Talk to us, Christian. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So like basically, I'm not going to be coming to this college, but I'm gonna still go to college though. But it's not going to be this one. So I already did the FAFSA and all that. So like, can I switch it to another school, or how does that process work?
Okay, I see Brittany shaking her head, and I don't know whether to go to Brittany or toss it over to Ryan. All right, Brittany's pointing to you, Ryan. You can't see it, but I can. All right, Ryan, go for it.
Yeah, so Christian, on your FAFSA, you can actually put up to 10 schools on your FAFSA at the same time. So what you'll want to do is just log back into your FAFSA. There's a link, it says make FAFSA correction, and then that will get you back into your FAFSA. Go to the school selection tab, add whatever school or schools you're interested in, and then just resubmit, sign and submit the FAFSA again. And then that way those other institutions will receive your updated FAFSA. Easy peasy.
Got it, Christian?
Yep.
All right, thank you, thank you. All right, Brittany, you're it, go.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So my name is Brittany Cochran, and my role at CVCC is a college navigator. And I'm going to go over what my role does and also what the counselors do, and then talk to you about some of those programs that you are interested in. So as a college navigator, some of you I may have already met with, so it's good to see some familiar names on here. I'm here to help you with the onboarding part. So getting started at CVCC, if you've already completed the application, then working with you on the financial aid and going over our new placement and connecting you with, tutoring or anything on campus that you're needing. And then I connect you with your counselor. And your counselor is who is going to work with you on your advising and enrollment piece. So they will actually get you enrolled in your classes. I know a lot of you answered on the first poll this evening that you were interested in how to get enrolled in classes. So I'll go over how to get connected with your counselor to make an appointment for your enrollment. So go ahead and either post in the chat or give me a thumbs up on your little reactions down below if you have already applied to CVCC. And then if not, let's see, did anybody give a thumbs up? Okay, I see a couple. Good, awesome. Okay, so for those of you that may have not done the application yet, College Navigators is who you'll want to reach out to first. So After I chat with you, I'll share my contact information and how to get in touch with the counseling office. So you'll just want to call in and ask to speak with a college navigator if you have not applied yet, and we'll get you helped out. So perfect. And we've got, yep, some are already enrolled. If you've already enrolled, then that's fantastic. So what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen with you here and go over some programs. And then I'll show you your My CVCC real quick to make sure everyone knows how to make an appointment to get connected. All right, let's see. So everybody should be seeing our homepage. Can everyone see that? Perfect. So I'm just gonna show you some programs. If you go to our homepage, you'll always have this option to view programs and classes. And I'll just click on a few. I know we had some interest in the health sciences, so I'll start here. Just click on the block that you're interested in, and then you'll see a bunch of different options. Let's see, I believe I saw paramedic was an interest. So you can get further information on whatever degree you're interested in by just, following the links. And we always have the class list posted at the very bottom of each of these programs that you're looking at that breaks out all the requirements for the programs, okay? So you can get to everything by programs and classes at the top here, and it'll break it down. Now, let me jump over. Let's see, is everybody seeing this G3 page now? Perfect. And I'll share these links in the chat with you all. So the G3, I know some people had some questions. I'll share this link that breaks out the requirements for you to double check. And then down below here, it gets more specific over those programs. So for those of you that were interested in, the machine tool or machine tool and quality that Professor Dillard just spoke about, they meet the G3 requirements right there. So more reason to go into that program. But you can see we've got lots of options that are G3 eligible. A lot of hands-on, a lot of technical studies, very hands-on. And like Professor Dillard said, if you're in the area, I know he's happy to invite you down and get a tour of the machine shop so you can actually go see what's going on down there. All right, and like I said, I'll come back to this and share my screen or share these links with you all. So I want to jump over, let's see. I just want to quick mention how you can get connected with us by appointment if you have already applied. So you would click on this My CVCC right here. I don't know if you guys want to post a thumbs up or post in the chat if you've already done this, or if you've had trouble, reach out to us. But when you click My CVCC, it would take you to a login page that should look just like this. Do you see where it's asking for a username and password? Does everyone can see that? Or okay. And you would just log in, and then it should look like you've got some different icons here. So you're not going to have all of these, but it would look something like this, okay? Navigate student is where you guys want to go if you're trying to make an appointment with myself, with your college navigator, or if you're ready to enroll in classes to meet with your counselor. So you would click your navigate student, and then we'll give it a minute to load, and I'll check the chat here in a minute. And when you get in navigate, sometimes it takes a minute. You'll see that you've got the option to make appointments. It'll pop up here on the left-hand side. There we go. So it should have your name, of course, when you log in. And then you see this right here on the left-hand side that says appointments. You all would just click appointments, and you would select your reason. You just kind of follow on through. So advising, to reach us. And you can see to reach financial aid to set up an appointment, you would do paying for college. After you get in classes, this is how you can make appointments with tutoring, our free tutoring services. Admissions, if you guys had any questions about maybe a hold that you have on your account, or if you're really struggling with applying, you could, reach out for help there. But also college navigators can help you with the application. So either one. But you would just follow along. So this is how you can get connected with us for an appointment. I just wanted to share that for those of you that have already applied. All right, I'm going to stop sharing here and let me come back. So the starting point, just to kind of recap, is, to apply first. If you need help, I can help you with the application, or any of the other college navigators. And then we just kind of go over your next steps. There is a placement survey that we'll be sending you, which determines for math and English what level you're ready to go into. It's just to make sure that we are preparing you, to be successful in your degree or program. I'll share that link in the chat as well. So again, those of you that have applied, if you have not completed this placement link yet, that's your next step. But if you feel more comfortable meeting with us first, we're available to meet over a Zoom just like this, or a phone call, and we can, pull up your account individually and go over your next steps with you, okay? Let's see, let me jump back in the chat. Has there been any questions? So, yep, I saw some people asking about SIS being down. So for those of you that have already applied, we had some system stuff going on today. And good, yep, our IT help desk, you can find their contact information online. If you're needing help resetting your password, that's who you'll want to reach out to. We've got a great IT help desk that can reset passwords. All right, any questions? Does anybody want to post in the chat or unmute yourself? Questions about classes or programs or how to get started? I'm not seeing any other questions.
Oh yeah, I had a quick one.
Yeah, go ahead, Nicholas.
Did we talk before?
We did.
Okay, yeah, I know you sounded familiar. I don't remember from when though.
Yep. I think I was one of the first people you met with, and you've worked with another counselor too, Miss Kimberly. You may remember her.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it though. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I don't see any questions, but if anything comes up, just post in the chat and I'll share those links I just went over so you guys can review the programs and the G3 eligibility and then the class placement. Okay. And I am going to go ahead and pass it on to our coordinator of student life, Miss Deanne McDaniel.
Thank you, Brittany. And I am right now, I'm putting into the chat. There was a question I think somebody mentioned about cybersecurity. So I have put the link in the chat for our previously recorded information sessions. I think if you go back, I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before, we had Jason Ferguson on and he did touch on the cybersecurity program. But if you use that link, you can go back and see all of the previously recorded information sessions.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yes. So if you go in to take a look, the last Tuesday's information session should be posted at this point. But the two previous to last Tuesday, we are still waiting on those to get posted. Hopefully they will get posted sometime this week, because we want you to have every opportunity to go back and rewatch these sessions so that you can, again, get the information that you need, and you can slow it down and just kind of take a listen, you and your parents. And so we do everything that we can to make sure those videos are available to you. Okay, thanks. Dee?
Yeah, no problem. So you've heard from my colleagues here tonight. They have all talked about your academic piece of your college experience. Well, I'm going to touch on your non-academic out of class learning. And what we try to do in student life is we like to try to connect your non-academic, your fun kind of learning experiences to your academic pieces so that it's a cohesive experience, but we also make sure that it's a fun piece. So some of the opportunities that you can get through student life are by participating in clubs and organizations. You could be an officer or just a member, or you can also participate in our Student Government Association as well as our Student Ambassador Program. Those are our two biggest leadership opportunities on campus. Our Student Ambassadors Program is done by an application, which I'm sure will be coming out soon as we're starting to transition back to on campus. And that's where you work very closely with Ms. Fletcher in doing some of the visits that she normally does when we're in normal times. You'll represent the college that way. And of course, SGA is very similar to what you've experienced in high school, but I am revamping SGA currently, but it will still be a leadership position, but we're just changing the dynamics of the SGA. So if you'll just keep an eye out as we get closer to August, and I'll start posting announcements for that. what we've been doing over this last year and a half is we created a virtual student center for students so that we can continue our engagement piece. So if you've been taking summer classes with us, you'll notice when you log in, you'll see an extra icon in your Canvas for the virtual student center. That is a non-graded piece. So I know some people hesitate to go in there, but it is a non-graded piece. We normally in there during the fall and the spring semesters have done a lot of activities in there. I haven't posted anything yet for the summer, but I will start doing stuff in there, some activities over the summer to start engaging some of our students, because I know I've been getting some students that have been looking to make connections to other students. So I'll start posting events in there, but it's also a good place to go for information because we have information about all of our services that are offered. Things like Brittany mentioned, like the computers and the hotspots and things like that are there. During the fall semester and the spring semesters, you'll also find Emily Munez, who is our transfer coordinator. She hosts a lot of the colleges, the four-year colleges, and she does information sessions with them. They'll be listed in there. Or like if the four-year colleges are having, like if University of Lynchburg or Liberty, one of our closer schools right in the area, if they're having a visit that then we think will be of interest to you, we post those there as well. So all of our activities function out of the virtual student center. When we begin to have events back on campus, we will have both a physical face-to-face component as well as a virtual component, because we'll still have students that will be taking classes online. So we want to make sure that we engage with you as well. So hopefully soon we'll be able to get back together on campus and have some of our bigger events like our picnics and things, but we'll always continue, like I said, to engage with you virtually or face-to-face in smaller kind of one-on-one or make and take activities. So there'll be some kind of activities in the future that we'll be doing where you'll physically get to meet a lot of us that you've been seeing on these cameras over the last few months. So like you saw at the beginning of my presentation, we are all here to help you and to make sure you are a success. So please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us because we want to make sure that you have a good experience here at CVCC and that you're successful. Thank you for joining us this evening, and I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, panel, for a wealth of good and useful information. Now we are at the Q&A portion of the evening. And I promise you, we want to hear your questions. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. And listen, no question is a bad question. Put it out there because we want to make sure you're getting the information that you need. You tuned in for a reason. Hopefully, we've given you a lot of the information that you tuned in for. But if you're sitting on a question, a thought, an idea, let us hear it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A.
Hello?
Yes, Matthew.
I was wondering if you could tell me, because I've heard about the CVCC summer classes. When would those be again?
Okay,
Or
the
have they
summer
already
classes. Yeah, the summer classes have already started, and Brittany and Karen, whomever, just feel free to chime in. We have what we call the summer session. Let me say this is a little different than your fall and spring session. The full summer session is 10 weeks, and it goes from, it's already started and go to about the end of July. But in those 10 weeks, we also break it up into what we call first 5 weeks, and then we have second 5 weeks, and the second 5 weeks won't start until around the middle of June, I think. Is that right?
I think
Yeah.
June 27th.
Right. But to answer the question, we are currently enrolled for the summer. And if you are interested in enrolling for a class, by all means, we would love to talk with you about that.
All right, because it's definitely would be an interest, just to get ahead a little.
Okay, Matthew, since we're talking, and I'm going to go around the horn here, so don't get nervous, everybody. Feel free to answer the question I'll ask, but if you don't want to, that's fine. We're always interested in not only what you're interested in studying with us, but what you're looking at in terms of a career, what you're looking at in terms of the kind of work that you like to do. So Matthew, my first question to you, what class are you interested in taking? Because Brittany might be able to speak on that in terms of if that class is going to be available in the second 5 weeks, if it's even available for the summer at all. So what class are you interested in?
I'm interested in a criminal justice program.
Okay. And Brittany, with that program, I'm pretty sure there are some courses we're offering for the summer that Matthew might be able to get a head start on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Michelle was talking about, our second 5 weeks will be starting in June, end of June this month. And they're 5 weeks long. So, we don't have everything that's offered, in 5 weeks. Only certain classes are condensed that way. But there are some that you could get started towards the ADJ, like our Administration of Justice or our Criminal Justice Certificate. And or if you're looking at a program elsewhere to just pick a class up and transfer, so you could do that in the summer.
So let me ask this question. Matthew, are you looking to transfer to a 4-year school at some point?
I am. Yes,
Okay,
I think so.
Okay, the reason I ask, and that's why you need to speak with someone like Brittany, because she is going to help direct you in terms of how to get started and what program you need to be in that is going to move you toward your long range goal, which it sounds as if you are going to be, you're going to look at transferring at some point. And so talking with someone like Brittany will definitely help you get on track, get started the right way and get on the right track.
All right. So is it possible? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Is it possible to attend CVCC for 2 years, get my associates there, and then get to a different, like one of those 4-year colleges?
Oh, no doubt about it. And I won't steal Brittany's thunder. So I'm going to go ahead and let Brittany speak to it, because I get pretty excited when you start talking like that, because you have every opportunity to complete what would equal your freshman and sophomore year of college in the most cost-effective way at CVCC. Move on from us to a 4-year school. Listen, we have something that's called guaranteed admission. And I'm already stealing Brittany's thunder. So you okay with it, Brittany? All right. So we have something that's called guaranteed admission. And it works like this, Matthew. Let's just say you're going to transfer from us and go to Virginia Tech. Well, if that is what you're looking to do, you would complete your freshman and sophomore year of college with us. So that means by the time you get to Tech, you are ready to be a junior. So at that point, you're going to do your junior and senior work. But you would have saved a boatload of money, Matthew, coming through CVCC. And here's the other thing, Matthew, Tech will know in any of the 4-year schools, and I will say in the state of Virginia, because that's who we have the agreement with. The research, Matthew, indicates that the 4-year public and private colleges, they are looking for the community college student. As a matter of fact, the research indicates that they see you as a better bet for graduation. Here's why. They know that you've already done half the work at the community college, which means you've completed your freshman and sophomore year of college. So they know when you get to them, this guy's already halfway there. He's not going to give up now. You have your freshman and sophomore year, your junior and senior year to finish with them. And so those 4-year public and private colleges and universities, they see the community college student as a better bet for graduation. That means students coming right out of high school to their campus won't do well. But what they know is that, listen, Matthew already knows how to, evidently has good study habits. Matthew already knows how to handle the work college balance and all that goes along with that. And with this guaranteed admission that we have with these 4-year colleges, 2 things, Matthew. You've got to meet the GPA requirement for the school that you're interested in. And then you have to graduate with the community college, in this case, CVCC. You meet those 2 requirements, my friend, and you have automatic, yes, I said automatic admission into that 4-year school. Now, you still have to get into your program, but what you've done is you've completed your freshman and sophomore year of college. You met the GPA that they said you needed to have. Thus, we have this agreement with these schools. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that is actually very useful and very cost effective.
Yes. You're using all the terms I like, Matthew. I love it. All right, very good. All right, well, thank you, Matthew. So again, we're opening up for Q&A. Please keep talking to us. We love this piece in terms of being able to talk with you. Talk to us, Nicholas.
Okay, so I had to write them down. All right, so the first one was, it was March 28th. It was something about the book club. What happened? And like, what happened then?
The book club?
Yeah.
I'm a little lost. Come on, keep talking to me. Keep flushing it out because I'm not sure where we're going.
Okay, so last week it was like a book club on the 28th. I was planning on going, just to see what it was about. But
Okay.
I didn't get to see what it was, and it wasn't an announcement that came out
Okay, I
about
see
what the meeting was.
Deanne is shaking her head, so I'm going to give it over to Dee. Dee?
So yeah, so one of our tutors monthly hosts a book club. So what she does is she'll announce what the book is. You'll have usually 3-4 weeks, depending on how quickly she gets the name of the book to me, to read the book, and then they get together and do a discussion about the book. And then sometimes at that session, we'll pick their next book. But right now, I think she's done for the summer. So she probably won't start back up again until September when we're back in school, because she'll give us a couple of weeks for everybody to get back into classes and then start back up in September. So that was what it was. Yep, it was the last one of the semester.
Okay. And
What's the
that
next
went to
question?
my second question. I was asking, when we are back on campus, is there going to be an opening for like students to work in like the bookshop place, or what's that called again? When all the stuff in that one
In the
building?
bookstore.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like buy with the shirts and stuff and all of that.
So they normally do at the beginning of the semester, they'll look for workers. I'm not sure exactly how they've been advertising, especially with us not being on campus. But if you are taking classes now, the next time you're on campus, stop in and they can ask them, and they can let you know when they'll start recruiting for the fall semester, because I think they don't do that till like August is when they'll be bringing in extra help to help out with the rush that we have in August.
Okay.
Dee, is this connected to financial aid? No, I mean work
No,
studies?
that's separate. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a work study. The bookstore is totally separate. They're their
Yeah.
own entity. Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. All right, very
Okay.
good.
Oh, I had like just two more. That's it.
No, come on, Nicholas. Yeah, keep talking.
Okay, and then I was asking, what can you do with a certificate? Like, if you don't want associates, what can you do with a certificate?
Anybody
is
want to
that-
take that before I
And is
tell
that
it? No.
transferable?
I'll talk a little bit about it if you want.
Okay, yeah.
So it really honestly depends on the career, right? So some certificates, that is all that you need for the job that you might be interested in, and that you're certified and you go off to work. Sometimes you might need higher level though. So we do offer certificates that are a part of an associate's degree, that the certificate isn't going to be quite enough probably to get you the main job that you're looking for. So that's why you'd continue on with the associates. But some certificates that are pretty popular, I'd say that we have, is like our EMT basic cert, right? In order to be an EMT, you just need to get your EMT basic certification. But then we also have, for example, the paramedic program. So some students continue on in our associates paramedic program because that's what they want to become. But on our workforce side, the workforce side we haven't talked too much about tonight. They have a lot of certificates on their side, and that's considered the non-credit side, but you're still getting certified in whatever it is you need. So they have like a phlebotomy certification. So anybody interested in that, they've got a CMA, certified medical assistant's pretty popular. I know that one stays packed. But they've also got the electricals, are really another popular one we hear about. So if anybody's interested in becoming a certified electrician. So it just depends, but if you're looking to go kind of into business, or of course into engineering, or nursing, you need to go on and get the associates and eventually your bachelor's degree, and sometimes even a master's or your doctorate. So it just depends on the level that you're needing for your career, and that's what the counselors are going to be there for, to help you kind of career advise on what your next steps would be best for you.
Oh, so you can pile on a certificate with your associates, like if they come, like if they are together, like they're in the same. Oh, I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So another good example is we offer a criminal justice certificate. Okay, but that I'd have to connect you with a counselor to find more on exactly what that could land you career-wise. It's built into our ADJ, our Administration of Justice associate's degree. So you end up completing the ADJ program, and you just automatically kind of complete this criminal justice certificate.
So can you take a certificate class while you're pursuing an associate degree?
Absolutely. Yep. They're like built in. They're part of it already. So it's not anything, it's typically not something separate. So it's already going to be part of whatever program you're looking at.
Okay, yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Nicholas. All right, anyone else? I thought I saw a light go on when
Yeah,
Nicholas was about to,
hi.
okay.
This is a question regarding like, so I personally am trying to enroll for general studies to kind of just get like the basics out of the way for how do I explain this? So getting my basics out of the way and then trying to transfer to a 4-year college. This is kind of like a hypothetical. Say I get those basics done at CVCC, and I transfer, and like some of the credits that you would need for whatever degree I'm going for in the 4-year, maybe don't apply. With some of the general stuff that I don't know how to explain it.
No, go, you're good, keep going.
It's really difficult to explain. Okay, so
All right.
basically I'm trying to see if I take the not 2 years, but like however many years it takes to get the general studies here done, and I try to transfer. You were saying stuff about like doing the freshman and sophomore year at CVCC and then transferring and doing your other 2 years at a different college. With that, it's like, will it sometimes take longer than just those 4 years, depending on what you're going for? Just because it's a general studies class, like you're not getting everything you need for, say, a specific degree.
Okay, let me weigh in, and then Brittany, feel free to chime in at any point. Mary, what you're doing with us, and here's the other thing, we get paid to listen and see where you're trying to go, so we can help you formulate that question. Okay. And I think we got it.
It's really hard to explain.
That's all right, darling. You would complete basically your freshman and sophomore year of college with us. So let's talk about the general studies program. So someone like Brittany, who's a navigator and one of our advisors, one of their main roles is to make sure, listen, they're not only interested in what you're doing with us, they're interested in where you're looking to go, because they're going to make sure that what you're doing with us is lining up with where you're looking to go. So that means in the general studies program, there's a whole host of electives. Brittany will be talking with you about, okay, where are you looking to transfer? If you know, what kind of program are you looking to go into? Because at that point, you're going to start looking at what are they requiring of you and what could you take here at CVCC that you could knock. There you go, to knock that out. Yeah. So, look, I think we're already there. Does that answer it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, so and what it does is allows you to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So that means you've already met the requirements for CVCC, but you have taken a few classes that you won't have to take at the 4-year college. Now, here's the other thing. This is not random that we're just putting some classes together and calling it a program. We are very in tune with what the universities and the 4-year colleges are looking for. So these programs are put together with where you're going in mind, so that you're not spinning your wheels and just, you do 61 credit hours with us, you transfer to a school in the state of Virginia and they only take 10 of your credit hours. What a waste, right? No, you transfer with us. And if not all, the majority of your classes will transfer. And when it comes to using those electives in a very wise way, then you have someone like Brittany helping to guide you, say, okay, where you're going, they want you to have developmental psych and abnormal psych. Then don't fool around with principles of psych as an elective. Take abnormal and developmental. It'll satisfy what you need with us and where you're going. That was just an example. Is that useful to you at all?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, Brittany, let me let you weigh in if you want to add to that.
I think you did a great job. You covered that. Yeah. So Mary, your counselors, if Mark ends up being who your counselor is, I think you'd mentioned in the chat you would talk with him. He'll take good care of you. Also, Yeah, Emily Muniz is our transfer counselor too. So maybe we get you connected with her. And I'll let you know, she's actually been working on a project with all the schools in Virginia. It's called Transfer Virginia. So the whole Virginia community college system, along with the state schools and I believe some private colleges, she'll be able to explain it better, have gotten together and are really focusing on aligning everything, the majority of these gen ed classes to make sure that it's basically same across the board everywhere. Because like Michelle was mentioning, once we start working with you and figure out what colleges you're looking at, kind of what it's been in the past is certain colleges may have wanted United States history and certain colleges may have wanted Western civilization history, right? So that can get kind of tricky when a student's going to transfer to plan ahead that far. So now they're trying to make it same across the board. So it'll be even easier when it comes to transferring. But yeah, whether you take longer than the 2 years, I don't know if you were worried about that, but in order to get an associate's degree, yes, it can be completed in 2 years. That's how it is set up. But some students take longer. I did myself when I was working on my associate's degree, and it's just the pace that you go at, whether you're full-time or part-time. And it doesn't matter. Once you secure that associate's degree, you can qualify for those guaranteed admission agreements that Michelle was mentioning, as long as you meet all their different requirements. So GPA requirements for different schools, but you can apply as a transfer student without guaranteed admissions. You don't have to apply under the guaranteed admission.
Okay. Yeah, because the plan that what I have planned is that I'm gonna try to space it out as much as I can, so I'm not like bombarded with a bunch of work all the time. Yes.
Okay. Well,
Getting
great.
like a
Well,
Hey,
part-time job and stuff.
Michelle, sorry.
yes, go Ryan.
I just wanted to add one thing. So Mary, between you and me, all right, so I worked at 4-year schools for about 15 years. And unless at that 4-year school that you're wanting to transfer to, unless you're getting a full ride all 4 years, I guarantee you, even if it takes you one more semester at that 4-year school after you transfer your associate's degree there, I guarantee you, you will still save a whole lot of money going the associate's degree at CVCC, transferring it to your 4-year school route. I guarantee you.
And I want to add one thing. Brittany was talking about how we work together with the 4-year schools and what Emily is doing. I think it's also true, and Lynn, you can speak to this with the industry, that our technical programs, Lynn knows what BWX is looking for. He knows what Framatome is looking for. And so the training that we're offering you in the technical programs, we're also trying to make that as seamless as possible. When you graduate with us and transition from CVCC into the workplace, it's not all of a sudden, just two different experiences in terms of work, but it will be very familiar to you, I guess is what I want to say, because they are working with the industry to make sure that we are training you for what they need. Am I right, Lynn?
Yes, you are. BWXT are sending their people over here to teach you what you're going to be doing.
Right.
And the next thing I do want to comment on Nicholas, what he's saying earlier about the associates. I used to have an associates down here. BWXT did not like me cutting away my core classes to give Comp 1 and Comp 2. So they wouldn't take them. So I dropped the associates program because nobody would take it when B&W stopped taking people. So those certificates, those diplomas do actually mean something. And like I said, these local companies are coming in here to make sure you know exactly what's expected, to train you the right way. And most of them that's in here teaching you is going to be your boss when you go to work.
How about that? Okay. All right. Well, any other questions? Because we are over the 6:30 mark, and I don't want to hold you any longer than, but we do enjoy the questions. So any other questions?
One more question.
Yes, Matthew.
So do you know how much these summer classes would cost?
Okay, I'm going to throw that over to Mr. McNamara.
Yeah, so as long as you're a Virginia resident, you've been living in Virginia for over 1 year, the tuition and fees, it's $161.25 per credit hour. So if you take a 3-credit class this summer, it will be $483.75. So it's basically 161 times however many credit hours you're taking for the summer. And that's assuming
Okay.
that you're not receiving
And,
any financial aid. So that's just out of pocket.
would I be attending these classes virtually or in person?
So this summer, it would be, most of the classes are virtually. So online, either through like this Zoom type format or just online on your own, where, you know, assignments are due Sunday at midnight and you follow the syllabus type thing. So depending on which class it is, there's different formats. And then now in the fall, they're opening it up so there will be more on-campus classes. But for this summer, it's online.
That would be very nice for like virtual this summer and then straight to on campus in the fall. But thank you.
Great, thank you, thank you. Okay, any other questions before I move us on? Because I'm gonna go ahead and move us toward the close.
Oh yeah, real quick. So you know, I said I was looking for the apartment, right? So I found
Yes.
one in like that's in the same zip code. You know, it's a 1-bedroom. You know, it's 5 I could do that. But I was asking, is there anything like Miss Dean? I know you sent all the houses out. I mean, apartments, and you know the housing options around the campus. But it's like, is there anything that's in that zip code that can stay there? Because a lot of them were close to it. But like, if it's something that I can find in 24052, then you know that's something I'm trying to get, so I can be as close as possible. Because this one right here, it's called Benchwood Beach Wood Court, and it's 35-minute bus transit. So I really wanted to be as close as possible as soon as I got there.
Let me get because with not being on campus, I know there's a new community right down the street from us, but I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. I'll have to reach out to Philmika to see if she has that name. I know I have it sitting on my desk at work, but I'll have to reach out to her and have her get in contact with you with that information, because there's that one, and then there's another one that I'm not sure. It's another one that's like down the road near one of our high schools, but it's a bus route. I'm not sure how that is, because sometimes the apartments can be close, but the bus route can be a little farther. So, but I know, like I said, there's a brand new one that they just built right down the street that's in walking distance that I can get with Philmika and have her get back to you on that one.
Oh yeah, it's right down the street. I ain't gonna need to take the bus.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and launch this last poll for the evening. And this poll has 3 parts to it. Did you find the information helpful? Was the information session worth your time? And did you learn anything new? So let's go ahead and launch that. If you would engage us for a few minutes. Okay, another 10 seconds, and then we're going to end the poll.
So Ms. Dean, when you say it's right down the street and it's new, is it like modern, up to date? Because it might be more expensive.
Well, these were built specifically for, I think, with the Liberty students in mind. So I'm guessing it's not going to be too overly expensive. But because they came and talked to us, but it's been a while ago. But I don't think I think they were gearing it more towards students and affordability. So I don't think it's going to be like some of the apartment complexes you would probably find in the area.
Okay, Nicholas, I'm gonna let you probably go offline with that conversation with Ms. Deanne, and she'll be happy to talk with you a little more about that. We want to share the results with you, and you can see at their panel, you did a great job. Everybody got what they needed, and that is what we are always looking to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. A couple more things, and then I'm going to let you go. Just a reminder that the sessions are recorded, so please, by all means, go back, take a listen, slow it down, get the information that you need. Our contact information is in the chat. So get those numbers, names and numbers, so that you can reach out to someone if you need to. And again, the recorded sessions on the website and on the YouTube channel. We thank you for joining us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you in a future information session. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
All right, can you stop?